Yeah, so Sainath spoke about sugarcane at length yesterday. So I just wanted to, when he spoke about the water transfers from food crops to cash crops, I thought I'd sort of elaborate a bit on that. Of course, he's covered much of what I've said in this first slide. Across the state, you have 4% of sugarcane farms consuming 70% of irrigated water, and the average in a region where there are 54 sugarcane factories in Marathwada. The average rainfall in Marathwada is 783 millimeters as compared to 1146 millimeters in the state. The average water consumption of sugarcane is 6159 millimeters. Now, last year, a couple of years back, I sort of got my hands on uh, the presentation that Divisional Commission of Marathwada had made. And in that presentation, he basically said that he basically proposed that 50% of sugarcane should be brought under drip irrigation, which would have meant that it would have saved more than the capacity of the Jayakwadi Dam, which is Marathwada's biggest dam, because the average water consumption of sugarcane is 10 times the annual drinking water requirement of Marathwada. But in the absence of that, more groundwater is extracted, and the region is heading towards desertification. Often, when farmers sort of cultivate sugarcane, we ask why do they cultivate so much of sugarcane. Uh, so here are some of the reasons why they cultivate sugarcane as much as they do, or they want to cultivate as much sugarcane as possible. One is they have an assured market. They have their harvest is pre-booked. They don't have to go through the hassle of going to the mandis, MSPs. They don't have to worry about the government setting MSPs at a much lower rate, and so on and so forth. So what they have to do is their harvest is pre-booked. There are so many sugar factories around, so all they have to do is basically uh, uh, sell their harvest to the sugar factory, and basically it's less stress free, less hassle free. Uh, the social status that sugarcane brings is also important because in Marathwada, especially when it's a water stressed region, uh, marriages become difficult. For a groom who's cultivating sugarcane, it becomes much more easier to find a bride. So these are some of the important reasons why farmers cultivate sugarcane. And now the onus of to reverse that, and protect the environment and protecting the water is on the state and not on struggling farmers. A lot of times we ask farmers why do they have to cultivate sugarcane, why do they have to do what they're doing, and that's because sugarcane is incentivized in the market and the food crops are not incentivized in the market. And that's clearly because most of the sugar barons in Maharashtra are political leaders or their proxies cutting across party lines. We had an opportunity to sort of reverse that in 2016 when two unprecedented droughts before that had brought down sugarcane cultivation to 93 hectares. It was basic 93,000 hectares. It was basically down more than 50% from previous year. Most of the farmers, overwhelming majority of the farmers, replaced sugarcane fields with tur. It requires much less water, and that's why. And basically, it was just impossible to cultivate sugarcane during that year of 2016. When so much of sugarcane or land under sugarcane was replaced with tur, it was expected that tur would have a bumper crop. We had a 370% increase in the production of tur going forward. It was an expected bumper crop, and yet there was absolutely no preparation. Only 37% of it was procured at the government centers. 64% farmers waited for months for their procurement. Some of the centers didn't even have enough storage, gunny bags, weighing scales. It was absolute chaos. Uh, the stress or the chaos of that of that year, the outcome of that was quite obvious. From 93,000 hectares of sugarcane cultivation that year, the next year farmers went back to sugarcane and increased and sugarcane cultivation was increased to 214,000 hectares, and the year after that it went back to 313,000 hectares, and we've basically gone back to square one. Had it been handled better, many experts say that farmers might not have gone back to sugarcane; they would have persisted with tur, because sugarcane requires much more investment. Uh, when there's more investment in question, there's more stress, there's more anxiety. sugarcane relatively is not as doesn't induce as much anxiety. But because of the chaos at the procurement centers, farmers went right back to sugarcane, and the desertification of Marathwada continues. Thank you so much.